Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Ryan Date, aka Date Ryan Sama, here on Twitch and on Twitter. A member of the Hashira podcast, we talk all things anime and nerd. And today, it is good to be back with you all live here on Twitch. And for everybody watching us later on YouTube, I would that you would subscribe, hit the bell so that you know when we go live or anything is posted on our YouTube channel so that you can be part of the conversation. Please comment in the comment section below so that we can have conversation with you and talk about them in future episodes. But this episode here is because in the summertime, people get so bored with summertime animes that they start saying some crazy stuff right before fall season hits when all the big names come back. So there's been a lot of anime hot takes. So here with me, I've got Ed and Edwin, and we are going to go over some of this crazy hot take foolishness.
I'd like to begin with a fact.
So, see this guy right here? The man behind the activity and the ability. Here to talk about some of these unnecessary hot takes. So, again, if you're in the chat, you know that we started the episode up. We will talk to you guys, and we definitely want to address your hot takes. Please keep dropping those hot takes in the chat because they've been something absolutely hilarious. I'm going to name some of the hot takes that were on before we started recording this episode just so that everybody knows what's going on. One, somebody said, I don't know who that somebody is, said that Smile Bomb, the opening theme for Yu Yu Hakusho, is more iconic than Yu Yu Hakusho, the entire anime. Another person said that fan service in anime is underrated. Then we had another one saying, and I agree with this a lot, that movies in anime should be canon. Now, Ed and Edwin was just saying, man, I'm talking about, man, say what you were just saying.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, movies being canon for anime is cool, but if the studios are gonna get cheap and then, like, when the season comes out, they're gonna just make us watch the movie again but in episodes, because they seem to be doing that a lot, then that's kind of corny if we're gonna get cheated out of seasons. Because again, perfect example, Demon Slayer, we got Mugen Train, they turned that into, I think, 7 episodes,
yeah. And
then we got 10 episodes of season 2. Like, season 2 didn't feel rushed, but it kind of, hot take, season 2 of Demon Slayer, it kind of felt like, not rushed, but since we only got the 10 episodes, and then like half of it was like, I guess, information, like them gathering around, then them, meeting Tengen, him letting them know what the deal is, and then I feel like the last 5 were like fights, just the fight. So I felt like, I don't know, it wasn't a bad season. It was really good. The animation obviously was amazing, but I think if we would have got like a legit season 2 and not half Mugen Train and half, like season 2, what was it, the Red Light District or whatever the arc, that season would have been, I think that season would have been a lot better if they would have been able to, like, I guess give them a little bit more like investigative duties and something like that, because that's basically what they be doing. They went there trying to figure out like who this demon is that's killing all these people off. They get there and I feel like maybe like 1 episode or 1.5, and then they figure out who it is. And if that would have been longer, not and because they didn't waste time with Mugen Train being episodes, they could have been a little bit better. So boom, we started off right there. Hot take.
Dang. Alright, okay. Oh man, that's bro, this is rough. Alright, okay, I'll say this. I will say that I wish we got more Tengen, because Uzui Tengen is just fantastic. Okay? And again, you said it yourself. It definitely wasn't rushed. Like, it didn't feel rushed, but I would have liked more from the second season. And if more animes create canon movies, will they give us less anime and only be working with just the movie? And I feel like you could be right, because like you said, it was different when it was just Dragon Ball Super, right? When it was just DBS, we knew that they were doing it. But then Mugen Train came out and they did the same thing. So now it's like, will that be the trend going forward with all of these anime flicks and anime shows that are coming out with canon movies? Is that going to be the thing that happens from now on? It's just like, I hope that's not the case. So,
like, speaking of Super, like, they did it good with like the Broly movie, because that was like at the end, no?
Yeah, and they did,
because they were transforming. They went blue and everything. They fused up. Like, that's cool if you do it, I guess, like at the end, and then, I mean, but hopefully they don't hit us with the, next Super comes out and then the beginning is the movie.
I mean,
so we don't know yet.
I don't think they will, because remember, there's 2 movies before the next season of Super comes out.
That's true. We getting this.
Exactly. There was Broly, and we're getting a superhero movie right now. So if they put both of those in the next season, they're wild
that's
out.
what I'm saying. I mean, if they're gonna give us like 100 episodes, like not straight, but like every like week or like they might take a little week break and stuff like that. If they're gonna just give us like episodes and not make it like all right, season 1 of the new Dragon Ball Super, then I guess that'll be cool if they do it like that. But if they're gonna have season 1 of Dragon Ball Super 2 or whatever, it's gonna be the movies, and it's like dang. Cause I feel like we kind of getting cheated out, man.
Oh, all right. There's a hot take in the chat. Hot take in the chat right here. Uzui's fight had more weight than Rengoku's.
Before we talk about this, can I get my camera? So when we first started doing the podcast back in the day, they always used to say that I had the spicy takes, that Ed was the troublemaker. I was all these bad names, but lately El Rap has been wilding out. So we need to give that. He not a Hashira podcast member, but he in the community, and that's his title now. So I better not see that no more. This man has been going ham in Dante Ryan chat and on Twitter. So we gotta switch that.
So, all right, real quick, just so y'all understand the context, El Rap is the one that said the take I just read, and we're gonna tackle that. I want you guys all to tackle that real quick in the chat. That hot take. Uzui's fight had more weight than Rengoku's fight. I want you guys to tackle that hot take. Now, while you guys are tackling that hot take, I'm gonna agree with Ed and Edwin here. El Rap has been absolutely disrespectful in the anime verse, and I want him to cut out the madness. Listen, this man had the nerve to look himself in the mirror when he picked up his phone with his Twitter fingers, right? And had the nerve to be like, Water 7 was better than Wano? Or Marine 4? What you said about it? He said something crazy about me. Listen, we're going to get to that in a second. As a matter of fact, he's going to be on the show in the latter half of this, so we'll get a chance to get on into that again. But I'm not going to do that right now. We're going to go back into dealing with the hot take he just posted. So let's go back to that. All right? So Ed, do you think Uzui's fight had more weight than Rengoku's?
I'm gonna say no, probably because Uzui doesn't die. But like even if he does die there, I still feel like Rengoku had like a big impact on those 3, maybe 4. I don't know what he did for what's her name, Nezuko, because she don't talk. But like just the impact he had with them, because like even leading into like the next season, even though I mean it's one story, but yeah, like he like. I don't know, his impact on him was just like so great. Like now they're like kind of like adapting his whole set your heart ablaze type thing. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert. I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but it's a spoiler. But like, what's his name? Tanjiro, he's gonna use the little freaking the guard on his next katana. So he's gonna have that little flame thing.
Exactly, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, so like, I mean, Uzui, I enjoyed Uzui more as a character than Rengoku, but like more impact on like the story and the characters, nah, no way. Rengoku definitely, he has it over him.
I'm gonna also agree with the Rengoku over Uzui thing, and the reason I'm gonna agree with it is because it's not only that Rengoku passed, but it's like we said, it's the lasting impression that Rengoku has on the characters. Like their whole training arc after Mugen Train was because of him. The weight, the emotion that they gave out the moment that Tanjiro couldn't move as fast as he wanted to, and he's yelling at Inosuke, yo, right now, we gotta save him, we gotta help him. You know what I'm saying? And that whole moment, like the crying afterwards, and just him, Rengoku had such an effect on Tanjiro that he went to meet his family. Not just to learn the technique, but it's Tanjiro. He wanted to meet his family, met the family, interacted with them, had an effect on the father. Like, this is a real, like Rengoku's whole lasting effect. And the thing with Rengoku is, his lasting effect is not even just on the main characters. It's on the other Hashira. The other Hashira are like, yo, are we strong enough? Like, the strongest Hashira just got washed up. What are we gonna do? You know,
we had that little moment too where he like had that little idea like, oh, I'm not as strong as you. Can I do this or whatever?
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. So I think when we talk about the fullness of that fight, and not to mention, he was fighting a character. And again, like I tell people all the time when I talk about anime fights if I talk about like anime fights or whatever, right? I'm talking about the fact of the stakes that are on the line. Now we know when Uzui was fighting, right, that things could have went south, right? Because they were fighting a higher level, one of the upper moons. But the thing is one, we know the numbers game. Akaza is higher on the list then Uzi, the one that Uzi was fighting, I forgot his name. So now the thing is this. Oh, thank you, Gilman. So he was stronger than him, right?
Daki.
And so when you check out stuff like that, you have to realize that Akaza is so high up on the list that we didn't know what was gonna happen at all. It was like, it's up in the air. And the whole time we're like, yo, don't die, don't die, don't die. You got this, you got this. And then he started bringing out everything he had, and Akaza's having a blast, and then even Akaza gets a little worried, and it's like, yo, it's just really trying to like understand, like that's why I kind of held, I guess, up in my mind like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Akaza corny though, because he want to show up late to fights, man. He should have brought his ass there from the jump and fought Rengoku. Man, Rengoku wasn't like hurt or nothing like that, but still, man, they was doing their thing, fighting around, and here he come in the latter part of everything, and then want to act like he all tough and bad. Like, get out of here, man. If Tanjiro wasn't hurt, he would have been more help. What's it called? Nezuko would have been awake. They would have been, you know, nighttime for her to engage in the fight and stuff like that. So I mean, it is what it is, but yeah, I'm gonna still go with Rengoku though. I got another hot take too, man. I mean, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I personally think that just because an anime does not follow the manga, not panel for panel, but like, you know,
this is a hot
whatever,
take.
like to the T, that you can't say that the anime is trash just because it's not 1000% following the manga.
Oh, this is a hot take. Oh,
like,
man.
I can understand if you go off track and then now it's like, all right, that's just doo-doo. Then, you know, like, that's obviously, then yeah, it's bad, but like, you can like switch things up and it not be bad. I don't understand why people just automatically think because like, oh, well, in the manga, this character didn't become, you know, a leader in the group, and now he's a leader in the group, so it's trash. Like, what the freak?
I think that it's more along the lines of like, when it strays so far from what the manga is to a point where it's like hard to follow it, it's weird. Like, think about Promised Neverland, right? Let's talk about Promised Neverland, right? Promised Neverland, okay, season 1, and I'm gonna say it like this. Promised Neverland season 1 is obviously there's gonna be a lot of spoilers what we're talking about today because we're talking about a bunch of anime hot takes. Promised Neverland season 1 was still good anime wise, but I'm not really a manga reader. But the person I was watching it with was like, yo, look at the manga and you'll understand why some of the moments that were in the show have so much more weight than they actually do. And she was right. Shout out to Hurricane Caddy. So the thing is, in the episode in the anime, my boy Norman is just standing over the sink or walking to the sink before we wash his hand. In the anime, he does that whole scene and walks away with suspenseful music. In the manga, he's having a whole monologue inside himself with full like 3-4 pages of panels going through all the things in his mind after he realized that these kids are going to be cattle and they're trying to figure out a way off the island after talking with the head woman. He's trying to figure out everything in his brain, and we don't see any of that in the anime. So it's like, it takes away from that whole moment that I felt more in tune with once I read the manga. And now, let's get to the real crazy part. Season 2, Promised Neverland. By leaving out so many things, changing a lot of information, it just kind of took it from what it was supposed to be and made it weird. Not only that, it's not one of those things where it just doesn't follow the manga. It's one of those things where because it didn't follow the manga, it doesn't make sense. Like, the first season leaves us in a place where we're trying to understand stuff, and then season 2 just kind of throws random crap out that doesn't follow what season 1 left down. And that is weird. So, do all anime have to follow the manga? No. No, I'm not saying that. They should follow it as closely as possible to the source material. Yes. Will they all be bad if they don't follow it exactly? No. Will they be terrible if they do craziness around it? Yes. They're gonna be Promised Neverland.
But like I said, they changed, they left out, they did a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So like it makes sense if like that's bad. I mean, unless, like I said, what they did is just bad. And that's why when people bring up that specific anime, manga, whatever you want to call it, I always ask like, all right, is it bad because it doesn't follow, or is it just bad? Because I feel like those are two different things. You can, like I said, you can do your own thing, and if it makes sense, and if you can do it right, it can fit. Like, I don't know, maybe I just have, well, there's always one anime that I watched that I didn't because I don't really read manga. And everybody tells me, like, oh, the anime is terrible. You know, it doesn't follow the manga. But I watched the anime and I enjoyed it a lot, which is Tokyo Ghoul. And everyone tells me, like, oh, season 1 is pretty decent. But then after that, it's just not good. And I'm like, nah, but I thought season 2 was chill. Season 3, I'm not gonna lie, season 3 starts off very weird. And then the second half, it's just like they said, you know what? Just throw everything that was supposed to be in it, and then we're just gonna wrap it up and call it a day. But like for me, season 1 and 2, I thought they were good. Like I really enjoyed them. And people are like, nah, it doesn't make sense because Kaneki doesn't join the Aogiri tree. He stays good, and he stays at the cafe, and he he just like protects him or whatever. Because like I said, I don't even know. But I'm just like, wait, but I mean, I don't see the issue with season 2 though. Like it makes sense why someone who sees his, I guess, new group of people, because he was a human, they did what they did to him, and then now he's half human, half ghoul. So he's like on both sides, but he sees that, like, you know, like the ghouls are being treated kind of rough. So he felt the way for me to protect them is to join the bad guys so that I don't bring no heat to this group, because they took me in, and now this is like my family. So like, I didn't see the problem with it. I thought it makes sense. But the flip side is that doesn't happen, and apparently the manga readers hated it, and I just don't understand for that one specific story.
I mean, the thing is, and so Nobunaga said this in the chat. He was saying the same reason that comic book fans, people who read stuff about superheroes, get kind of in their feelings about movies that deviate a certain way. And I'm like, I can agree with that though, bro. Like it's simply like I had a hard time. You already know, I couldn't watch the Dark Knight trilogy. It's not something I enjoyed.
That's hot take, man. That's the best comic movies ever made, man.
No, a lot of people think that.
From nobody.
A lot of people think the Dark Knight movies are some of the greatest ever, and I don't care for them. The characters are so far from what I know them to be that it's hard for me to watch the movie. Now, do I think the movie is terrible? No, it's hard for me to watch. Oof. Yes, these two things are different, of course. Because
I mean, but my thing with the comic book scene, I guess American comic books, is that they just get done so many times.
Okay.
They're like, what could you do? That's like with the Spider-Man. It's like, yo, how many times are we gonna see this poor old man get killed? How many times Uncle Ben gotta die for y'all, bro? You should have hit the KO there. That would have been funny. No, but yeah, how many times we gotta see, so you gotta try something. That's why I don't get mad at them. Like one of the pillars, original Goose. Goose the Truth.
Shout out to Goose the Truth.
He's the Goose, but he has different variants, but he's the Goose. So when X-Men, I think First Class was the first like new installment of X-Men that they did. So like we watched it. I thought it was a good movie, but he had beef with it because he's like, yo, you have some of these characters that how you introduce Cyclops' little brother in the first movie, like that don't make no sense. I'm like, you're right, but like,
yeah, that really don't make any sense though.
It doesn't make any sense, but at the same time, like, yo, like they got to do something different. You know what I'm saying? Because like, again, how many times are we gonna see Professor X start up the school, then here goes Wolverine, here goes it's like we know the story, So I guess you have that one person or a group of people that when they come along, they want to try to switch up the subject a little bit.
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with switching up the subject, I guess. Like, and like I said before, even when I was talking about the manga, I said, hey, even if you don't follow precisely, it's not gonna make it bad, unless it's crazy. You know what I mean?
But that's my whole point with that take is that like, just because it's not following the manga 100%, I just feel like some people be like, oh no, it's trash because that didn't happen in the manga. Manga is superior to anime, which is not true, and so it's just like I'm like, come on, man, like at least watch it, give it a chance. You not even give it a chance. You're like, oh, don't follow, it's trash. Like, what? Come on now. I
mean, and I guess a good example of that before I jump over to another hot take, a good example of that would be Full Metal Alchemist. The regular one is not as good as Brotherhood. It's not. Is it still good? Yes.
Oh.
And that's the difference. Full Metal Alchemist before Brotherhood, the regular one was on Toonami back in the day, and that's what I was. I was younger. I watched it on Cartoon Network, and it was fantastic. I watched Brotherhood and was like, whoa, this is better. But like the first one was still good. And I feel like that's an example of how an anime, even if it doesn't follow the source material exactly, can still be good. But then it shows you how if it follows it with fidelity, it can be even better. And I think that, again, like into what Ed was saying, like a lot of anime that are being adapted are not being done a million times. They're not the same
Exactly.
superhero movie with the same origin story 1,000 times. So us being able to see that for the first time was like, oh, this is what it was, but this is what it's supposed to be. Was like, whoa, you know, kind of like it blew my mind a bit. And so I'm gonna make sure I just gotta say that for real. So let's get back into some more of these hot takes. He's got another one.
Okay, I got hot take one more time.
He's got another one. Go ahead. Hot take it up.
It's a little weird for me because like I enjoyed it and I think it is really good. But since somebody brought up Brotherhood, I think Brotherhood is kind of overhyped, man. I don't think it's that good. I feel like it's good because it's just a safe story and it's just told very safe. I feel like. I don't know. I just feel like they didn't try to like. There was just nothing that was like extremely like crazy to me where people like hold it as like, oh nah, this is like top 2, top 1. Because if you go to some websites that do like rankings, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood be like at the top, and I'm just like, nah. I think that was one of like the main reasons I watched it. And like I said, I enjoyed it. I don't know if it started off slow a little bit, but I didn't really like feel it like that in the beginning. And as it kept going on, I was like, you know, this is pretty good. This is a really good show. So like I said, it's weird because like I don't dislike the show. I don't think the show is bad at all. I just feel like it doesn't deserve the high praise and ratings that it gets.
This guy's crazy. What?
Bro, they said, all right, the show starts that, you know, whatever happens to them happens. One kid loses his body. He turns into a freaking knight. That was my favorite character. I love Alphonse. He was the sweetest thing in the world. Ed lost his arm. So now the whole goal is, all right, we're going to go.
Not you agreeing with him, Ryosuke Hero. Cut that out. You know?
It's not a bad, I don't think this is a bad hot take. Not bad as in like, oh, nah, I disagree with you. But I don't think it's like, I'm saying anything that's like crazy wrong. Because I'm not saying the show is bad.
Oh, man. What?
I just don't like, all right, so like if people rated it like a 10, I think y'all like wilding out. It could be like maybe like an 8. 8.5 maybe around there. That's not a bad rating. But I just don't
9 for me.
9's a little too much. But like yeah, so like you know they said, all right, we're gonna get their body, we're gonna get the body back, we're gonna get my arm back, we're gonna do what we gotta do, and then it just like ends. It's just like a regular plain old happy ending. They did what they said they was gonna do. They was like, all right, like I feel like nothing, like I said, insanely crazy happened. I felt like Homeboy Hughes, what happened to him. I don't know if there's people that watch or not. I shouldn't have said his name, but I feel like what happened to Hughes, it happened. And I was like, all right.
You wild. Oh man. Oh no. Oh,
Maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed it when watching, but like I don't even see where like it impacted or like affected the story like after that.
Oh man, this is rough for me.
I mean,
this
like
is rough
somebody
for
talk
me.
to me. Like,
This is rough for me.
Heartless.
This
I'm
is
not
rough
heartless.
for me.
I'm not heartless, but
Oh man.
it just doesn't like happy end. That's not true, man. Because I'm not gonna say that because people like to hate on my boy Naruto, man.
Oh
But
man.
no way. I had so at the last episode of Naruto Shippuden, I guess. Him and Hinata get married, man. I had the suit on and everything, and I was just there crying. It was just like a beautiful thing. No, let me stop. But all right, so go ahead.
Oh man, I don't.
Not defend it, but defend it.
I just.
Defend what happened to Hughes School, man. Like it was like I was like, oh damn, like why? Homie?
Yo, it didn't have to happen like that, man. It didn't have
did.
to happen like that, man. It just first of all, I mean, it did have to happen like that, and that's what gives the show that's what makes Full Metal Alchemist so good is that stuff like that happened. I heard from my boy. All right, that man was one of the best fathers ever. Okay, he will never see his family again.
Goku probably the best dad of all time. What are we talking about?
That's a hot take. That's an anime hot take. If I ever heard
from
one.
Hunter, man. Those
Yo,
are real. Now we
that you saying G?
Yeah.
All right, listen. Again, just real quick, when we're talking about Brotherhood it is the, in my opinion, premier anime for an anime that doesn't need 1 million episodes to establish itself, fantastically exist, have a foundation that literally weaves itself in the rest of the show, give you characters that aren't just the main set that you can like, and do some cool things. Full Metal Alchemist was one of the first shows back in the day that had a whole section that had nothing to do with Ed or Alphonse. When Armstrong and his sister were defending the North or wherever they were, that was crazy, and you didn't see see them for like 3 episodes, and you were fine because you were like, yo, this is what the heck is happening. Not to mention Roy Mustang. We ain't gotta get into the god of the show, but the thing is, that's one of the first shows that did that in a way that just was so coherent and cohesive. The bad guys made sense. The homunculus were crazy, and even their whole stories of how they came into themselves just really hit it on the head. Let's not even get into Scar and his whole situation.
Man, he was a disappointment.
But Scar's whole thing was like, it was just based off of kind of, that's a hot take. Scar's whole situation was just crazy. Like, it just, and it's very relatable because my man Black, all right? All right? Just, all right? So that is just like, that whole situation was crazy in itself. A lot of things in that show, especially when it was out, just don't make any sense. So I just, it's just crazy. So I think the show, to me, it sits up there. So I can't say, I won't say that it's the greatest thing of all time, but it definitely sits in one of the like those founding. If I tell somebody you need to see an anime that's really good, you already know what I was going to tell you to watch, right? Stream, watch Code Geass. But if you don't watch Code Geass,
that was a good one.
You watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
but that's what I'm saying though. That's why it's weird, and I think that's why so before I watched Fullmetal Alchemist, like I said, I would always hear, yo, this show is good, but I never really like saw it places. People would always be like, oh, you never watched Brotherhood? Oh no, you wildin'. I'm like, I only hear it's like a word of mouth type of thing. I never see it on like websites or nothing like that, except for like 1 or 2. But like other than that, I've never seen it anywhere. And then I think my reasoning for whatever my hot take was that it's not bad, but I don't think it's that good. I think that's probably why. And then like someone in the chat said, it's not animes for dummies, but like kind of like, yeah, because not that it's simple, but I just feel like it's like just easy to enjoy. It's easy to like, you don't have to, I mean, it has its complex moments, definitely 100%. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you can just be sitting there looking at the screen and you're like, oh yeah, I know what's going on. Nah, like it's well written. Everything about it is good. It's just that, like I said, when people tell me like this is like a high end anime, I was like, I don't know, I watched it and I didn't really get that from it, but it is good, and people should definitely watch it. It is definitely good. Oh, and my thing with Scar, I just felt like Scar was kind of like a wasted potential type of character. I actually wanted more from him, and that's why when he was like, oh, and Scar, I was like, I kind of a little disappointed because at the same time, I kind of wanted him to be like a big player villain. I didn't want him to just be like some type of like, I don't like. He was like they like kind of like turned him into a good guy. So it's like why, man? This guy has his.
He technically was the good guy.
I mean, yeah, but he had his agenda that he was trying to do, which was cool. Like I respected his his views and everything, and I agreed with him. But at the same time, he should have been like, all right, yeah, I'll roll with y'all for whatever. But like, nah, I'm still trying to do what I gotta do. If I happen to be in the area, if I want to, I'll help y'all. But if I ain't, then F y'all, don't hit me up. Because there was a point where he was like rolling around with them for a while.
Yeah.
And the little character was cool, man. I forget her name because I feel like her name was Silver.
Yeah. She's OD,
that character
bro.
was beast. She was beating people up.
And I love Armstrong's sister. She is, man.
Yeah, nah, she was cool.
Yeah. Whenever I hear somebody say, back in the day, they didn't make any cool female characters. And I go, have you not met Miss Armstrong? Have you skipped over that somehow in your lifetime? Do you not know who she is? She's a goat, man. I just freaking, yay, man. Oh, man. So, okay. Thanks for listening to this last episode of the Hashira podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the conversation. Also, if you have any thoughts on these hot takes, we hope that you would put them in the comment section below so that way you could be a part of it as well. Also, if you're subbed and you are listening to the next episode, we might even read that comment out loud in the next episode or have a conversation regarding it based off of the things that you said. So please be a part of the things that are going on here at the Hashira podcast just by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to the channel so that way you can always be a part of the things that are going on. So, hope that you enjoy it. Stay tuned for more content. And more than that, stay nerdy, my friends. Johnny.